Welcome back to this week's AMT Fresh Produce Market Report made possible by Villa Crop Protection. We recently published all our monthly reports, which is available for free on our website, so go and check them out. We'll take a longer term outlook this week as well on where prices can move over the festive season and early next year, so make sure to stay tuned for this episode. The past week, the potato price increased by 11% to R51.55 per 10 kg. Tomatoes jumped to R11.04 per kilogram, while onions decreased to R39.70 per 10 kg. Carrots traded 2% higher at R3.57. Peppers increased by 10% to R18.86, while cabbages decreased by 4% to R1.54. Sweet potatoes increased to R6.34, spinach jumped to R2.60, while butternuts dropped by 17% to R9.12. Pumpkins increased by 5% to R7.55, garlic dropped by 12% to R40.78, green beans decreased to R10.56, while cucumbers increased to R13.24 per kilogram. With world-class solutions like Masterlock, tailored for South African conditions, Villa helps you manage risk and increase productivity with research-backed confidence. We are moving past the start of the month now, which can result in demand to start dropping towards the weekend again, and in turn result in more pressure on the markets, especially those in oversupply at the moment. We recently published our latest monthly reports, as was mentioned, where we give a longer term outlook on each of these markets, so go and check them out now on our website. Over the past 15 years, we had 3 similar years where we had high volumes during October, as this year for potatoes. That was in 2015, 18 and 2019, with 2019 being the only October where we delivered more than 100,000 tons to the market in that specific month. In all those years, we saw higher or similar prices in November, and then again higher prices going into December of that specific year. The price usually bottomed out in August each time. We are seeing a very similar trend this year, and is following a very similar trend as in the 2018 production season. Based on that, it is possible that we can move above the R50 average mark in November and possibly closer to R60 in December again. For onions, however, we had the best October over the past 15 years, and it was clear in the prices that stayed on very low levels. Other years included 2018 and 2024. In both those years, we saw prices staying low until February the following year, so it's not looking good for prices, for especially onion prices, over the next few months. Tomato volumes came in slightly lower compared to previous years during October month, and resulted in slightly better prices as well. Carrot volumes during October came in as the 3rd highest over the last 15 years, and also drove prices sharply lower. Taking other similar years into account, as can be seen, it looks that we can remain sideways in November and possibly jump back to about R5 in December, when demand is also on a slightly higher level. We also had a good October for garlic production, which also drove prices downwards. There were a few other years with similar high production levels during October, but 2017 definitely stands out from this. All these years had one thing in common, and that was a downward price trend in November and December, with most years only recovering in April the following year, so expect garlic prices to stay low over the next few months. Please leave me a comment if there is a specific commodity we can look at in next week's episode, and we'll make sure to do that for you guys. Moving over to the fruit markets, banana prices decreased to R11.07 per kilogram, apples traded lower on R13.14, and pears traded higher on R9.83 per kilogram. In the citrus markets, oranges jumped by 3% to R8.55 per kilogram, lemons increased to R7.08, narchies dropped to R8.27, and grapefruits also traded lower on R7.05. Avocados moved about 2% higher on R24.97 per kilogram, while table grapes increased by about 33% to R100.37 per kilogram. Pineapples increased to R11.82, blueberries decreased to R40.82 per kilogram, while watermelons dropped to R1.68 per kilogram last week. Table grapes had a slightly slower start to their season compared to last year, with a bit less volumes during October, keeping prices elevated. We can, however, expect volumes to pick up now and drive prices sharply lower over the next few months. We had an early start to the watermelon season as well, with volumes picking up quickly during October. If we have a similar season compared to last year, volumes can stay high in November, putting pressure on prices during the coming month. However, slightly lower volumes in December and better demand can result in higher prices over the festive season again. That's your AMT Weekly Fresh Produce Outlook for the week, made possible by Villa Crop Protection. Remember to follow AMT on all social media channels for daily and weekly updates. And we'll see you again next week with the latest market trends. I'm Dr. Johnny van der Merwe, and thank you for watching.